All right. Hello, hello, hello. I still have not gotten my workout, you guys. Okay. I've been working, trying to get post scheduled, things taken care of for when I leave. So let me make sure that we are on the Facebook. And how has you guys' day been going? Anybody who can pop in at this hour of the day? Here we go. All right, there I am. Just wanted to pull myself up to make sure I can see you all. And if you want to leave a comment, please grant StreamYard the permission to see your name. And I did post that link inside of the description to this video so that you can. Now, this is the recap for chapters 3 and 4 of the Power of Intention, Learning to Co-Create Your World Your Way by Dr. Wayne Dyer. And this go around of reading this book, I have just been like in awe of how much I have like really taken all of what he says in this book to heart and how it has transformed my life. Like literally it has transformed my life. I love reading and I love books. I love to have a physical book. So we got about 2 minutes before we start. I just wanted to come in and get this done because I did not get it done on Saturday because we were football watching. And then yesterday we were football watching again. So, but go Ravens, okay? Like, go Ravens. That's where we're at. Go Ravens. But this book, let me tell you. All right, let me make sure I get myself to the right page. Now, this chapter, well, these 2 chapters, because we only have a month to get through a book, I try to make it to where you had ample time to get in there and some thought questions with each of the day posts. I only post Monday through Friday. So to give you guys enough time to get in and do those things. And I know how it can be because I'm behind also. But please, if you can do it, get in, get that engagement in, either write it down in your notebook when you have time to listen to some of the other recaps. If you have time to listen to the audiobook that I posted to the top of, I pinned to the features, go ahead and do that because it is very important. I think this is one of the books that for your mental currency, you will need to have in your Rolodex. All right, so let's get started. Hello, 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 my resilience warriors. Happy Monday to you, or a happy day to those whenever you get to see this video. This is the chapter 3 and 4 recap of The Power of Intention by Dr. Wayne Dyer. Learning to Co-Create Your World Your Way. This is the book that we are delving into. The theme for this month is intentions and goals, because they are 2 different things as we are learning. Intentions is what you put, the energy you put into what you want to do, and the goals is the actions that you put into what you want to do and achieve. All right, so this chapter 3, is about connecting to intention. Chapter 3, you all, let me tell you, let me pull up the rest of my notes. I have so many things that I'm getting into. Well, not so many things, but I just have so many. I have a keynote that I have to do next month that I am preparing for. I've already planned it. Now I'm preparing for it. And then it is practice. And then it is the actual delivery of it. Okay, so here is chapter 2. All right. So, The Power of Intention by Dr. Wayne Dyer. These chapters 3 and 4, explore the profound concept of intention as more than just a personal endeavor, but as a universal energy we're all a part of. So we're all a part of this energy. Whether you're familiar with these ideas or just starting to explore them, I hope this discussion will offer you new insights and perspectives. And that's what it's all about. It's about growing and doing what we can to keep growing and evolving. Okay, so chapter 3, connecting to intention. And right off the bat, I wanted to read this part of the book, well, the chapter. Examine this observation by a great mental science practitioner of the early 20th century, Thomas Troward. He says, the law of flotation was not discovered by contemplating the sinking of things, but by contemplating the floating of things which floated naturally, and then intelligently asking why they did so. In the early days of shipbuilding, ships were made of wood, and the reasoning was that wood floats in water and iron sinks. Yet, today, ships all over the world are built of iron. As people began studying the law of flotation, it was discovered that anything could float if it's lighter than the mass of liquid it displaces. So today, we're able to make iron float by the very same law that makes it sink. Keep this example in mind as you read and apply the contents of this chapter on connecting to all that you're intended to become. Now, this chapter was really about connecting, let me tell you. So, let's see. I have more. The key word here is contemplating, of what you're placing your thoughts on as you begin utilizing the enormous potential and the power of intention. You must be able to connect to intention, and you can't access and work with intention if you're contemplating the impossibility of being able to intend and manifest. You can't discover the law of co-creation if you're contemplating what's missing. So, what does that mean? That means what you focus on is what you're going to get. So make sure that you're focusing on the things that you want, not the things that you don't want. And whatever you intend to create in your life involves generating the same life-giving quality that brings everything into existence. So it has to flow with the intention, with it. The secret to manifesting anything that you desire is your willingness and ability to realign yourself so that your inner world is in harmony with the power of intention. Let me pull this up. So, understanding intention as universal energy. So, Dr. Dyer suggests that intention is an omnipresent force, a part of the energy field of the universe. Think about attention not as just our individual desires or goals, but as a universal energy that we're connected to. This perspective shifts how we approach our goals, moving from a self-centric view to a more holistic one. How does this idea resonate with you? So that is one of the things that I've been interested to see with the engagement in the reading of this book. How are you guys taking his concepts? How are you I know that I believe B and Suzette commented. Oh, and Miss Candy, you all commented on the first chapter of the book. I want to know what you're thinking about these remaining chapters, specifically this chapter on actually connecting. Intention isn't a material substance with measurable physical qualities. It's not. It's energy. It's flows. It's continuously flowing, just like an air cycle, just like my air cycle, the adapt, the inner work, repeat. It continuously flows. So we may think we know everything, but trust me, you don't know everything, and you can learn a lot from anybody. All right, now here. Okay, I just have things highlighted in the book that I want to just read to you guys because it just struck me to be like, okay, this is something I want to share with them. In order to float an idea into your reality, you must be willing to do a somersault into the inconceivable and land on your feet, contemplating what you want instead of what you don't have. You'll then start floating your desires instead of sinking them. The law of manifestation is like the law of flotation, and you must contemplate it working for you instead of contemplating it not working. This is accomplished by establishing a strong connecting link between you and the invisible, formless field of energy, the power of intention. And this is really by those 7 faces of intention. They're so important: creativity, kindness, love, beauty, expansion, uh, unlimited abundance, receptivity. Those 7 faces of intention are what will keep you in the power of intention. So, entering into the spirit of intention, I have on my paper, feelings are clues about your destiny and potential, and they're seeking the full expression of life through you. Because in it's he describes it like the field of energy that's always present, always active. And it's interesting to think about how this energy influences not just major life events, but also our day-to-day decisions and interactions. So just part of their feelings are clues. For example, when we make choices based on love and kindness, we're tapping into positive energy. Have you noticed moments in your life when a decision or action felt particularly aligned with a positive force, like a random act of kindness or anything you've done in your life where you can actually feel that positive force pushing through? Now reverse it. Like your feelings when you're not feeling your top, when you're not feeling your best. What do you often run into when you're not? You run into more of those types of feelings, more of those types of interactions. And it brings it right back to the 7 faces of intention. Now, they are again creativity, kindness, love, beauty, expansion, unlimited abundance, and receptivity. These are qualities that exist in the universe and within us. For instance, when we act with kindness, again, we align ourselves with the universal energy of intention. Have you noticed moments in life where these qualities were particularly present? Like literally, can you trace through your whole entire life when you were in intention? And you can stay in intention there, but there's always that low energy and the high energy, as we'll learn in chapter 4. But let's get back to chapter 3. So, what do I have in here? Okay, so your will and your imagination. So there's no disputing the existence of your free will. We all have free will, just like when I play my Sims games. Sometimes they be doing what they want. I'm a gamer. You're a being with a mind capable of making choices. Try to imagine willing yourself to do something that your imagination doesn't want you to do. Your will is the ego part of you that believes you're separate from others, separate from what you like to accomplish or have, and separate from God. It also believes that you are your acquisitions, achievements, and accolades. This ego will want you to constantly acquire evidence of your importance. It pushes you toward proving your superiority and acquiring things you're willing to chase after with hyper dedication and resolve. On the other hand, your imagination is the concept of spirit within you. It's the God within you. Like that part right there, when I read that, I was like, okay, you are on the right track. You are on the right track. And that is what your imagination will bring you. And I push that full forward as I have been developing my AIR method program and all of the structures and all of the concepts and all the principles that go into it. And actually building the actual program has been it's been the spirit in me that has been guiding me. And I was sitting here looking at my my little affirmations here. And one says, oh, where'd it go? It's oh no, it's right here. It says, my intention is for all of my activities to be directed by spirit. My intention is to love and radiate my light, my love to my writing. And that is an intention, pushing that intention into the world to just make my imagination grow somebody and keep continuously grow me. Because shoosh, when I tell you this aromatic is thick, baby, it's thick. All right. And I have wrote something on the top of this page, and it says, what was this one about? Oh, willing yourself. That is what we're talking about. Willing yourself and your imagination. My son newborn, when he was, I forget how old he was in elementary school, and his older brother, they were outside. No, this wasn't even the first time. The first time it was ice outside, and they was walking to school, walking home from school. And I always tell them, don't walk on that ice. Don't walk on that ice. You're going to fall and you're going to hurt yourself. Don't walk on the ice. What'd he do? He went out there from home from school and he walked on the ice. He slipped. They came back to the house and he's holding his mouth like that and it's blood everywhere. That's the first time, but he knew. I prepared. I said, you knew that. So the second time something like this happened, he's downstairs in our basement, and in the basement, before we got it hooked to the wall, the cabinet was on the back of the sink. So it wasn't hooked to the sink. It was just sitting on the back of the sink. And he wants to climb himself up there, and that cabinet came down on him, and he came down on the toilet, the porcelain toilet, and he cracked his skull. Like when he came up to me, he was holding his head like that, and I told him it just was gushing, and I could actually see his skull. When I mean I could see his skull, it not only split into the red meat, but it split until I could actually see his skull. So I prepared him. Once we got everything cleared up, he calmed himself down, because it was his willpower, it was his imagination. And he is really the one who taught me about your willpower and how you can switch it to really have yourself in, to know that everything's going to be all right, and prepare yourself for these things. Because let me tell you, when he went there, he was good. He was fine. I was more anxious than he was, because he had prepared himself. He knew from me telling him, you're going to have to get stitches. This is going to be, it's going to be a mark there. It's healed already. But he was prepared. And then it carried over to the next accident that he had, where his brother, they were outside and they were playing, and his brother jumped off. We have this stone wall. He jumped off the stone wall onto newborn. His two teeth went into the top of newborn's head, and newborn's head was bleeding to where he had to get stitches. And again, it was his imagination of knowing what was going to happen already that prepared him, that when he went in to get the stitches, he was fine. That needle was like one of the needles that they give you when you get in a cesarean to get through there. Even the big needle he had to get to numb him, the doctor was like, oh, he's a strong one, Mom. I was like, well, he had prepared himself. So that just shows our imagination can take us anywhere if we let it. We can let it destroy us, or we can let it grow us. And it grew that boy. Let me tell you, he is one strong guy. And he taught me how everything wasn't so bad, because that prepared me for when I had to go in and have my surgeries to get my port in, and to get my lumpectomy, and even to do the treatments. I was like mentally prepared because of the imagination that I use. What else do we have? I wanted to read this poem. It's by Hermes. That which is manifested that which is manifested. That which has been or shall be is unmanifested, but not dead. For soul, the eternity activity of God animates all things. These are significant words to ponder as you think about reconnecting to intention and gaining the power to create anything that's in your imagination. And you can create anything that's in your imagination, because I literally have been creating the air method in my imagination since at least 2006, but I have been forming it in my without even knowing that it was happening since when I was younger, when I've been actually adapting to my life's challenges, to doing the inner work when I was a child by journaling and just really being in touch with my emotions and myself, my higher self. And it's pushed me to be able to repeat it and be on this continuous air cycle, because they are air cycles and they're continuous. And I'm just so thankful for the opportunity to be in GSU, to be able to use my voice and learn how to share my story and incorporate it with the air method. It's that our intentions are so important. You can create anything. It's your imagination that I want you to focus on throughout the reading of this book, and view all of your determined goals and activities as functions of your imagination, working, guiding, encouraging, and even pushing you in the direction that intention had for you while you were still in an unmanifested state. There's no stopping anyone who can think from the end. This was an important thing that I have been incorporating. And I even heard Dr. Les Brown repeat this as he got it from Dr. Wayne Dyer also. There's no stopping anyone who can think from the end. You create the means and the surmount limitations in the connection with your desires. And that's what Newborn was doing also. And that's what he brought this lesson to life by thinking from the end. He was already like, oh, okay, I'm good. I'm fine. All right. I don't see no blood no more. I'm good. I'm going to know it's going to get sewed up. It's going to be good through each of his accidents. Reconnecting to intention involves expressing the same seven faces that the all-creating source uses to bring the unmanifest into the manifest. If imagination works for God, then it surely works for you too. Through imagination, God imagines everything into reality. This is your new strategy as well. Take your time. I know that with my quantum human design is, for me, 4 steps. My strategy is to wait to respond, envision my picture. Okay. So I got to visualize that, and then inform, and then take action. And that's what I'm doing. Know your strategy. All right. So now we are applying the 7 phases of intention. And these chapters are long, and we are already 20 minutes in. I don't want to keep y'all that long. These are going to be like an hour. But there was so many things that I highlighted in this book, and that I took notes on this time around, that I wanted to share with you all, because these things are like, this book is it's just that good. It's that good. All right, where did I end off at? Having been in the business of human development for most of my life, the question I most frequent hear is, how do I go about getting what I want? At this juncture of my life, I sit here writing this book. My response is, if you become what you think about, and what you think about is getting what you want, then you'll stay in a state of wanting. So the answer to how to get what you want is to reframe the question to, how do I go about getting what I intend to create? My answer to that question is in the remaining pages of this chapter, but my short answer is this. You get what you intend to create by being in harmony with the power of intention, which is responsible for all of creation. And in there, he goes through each of the powers of intention, and gives them affirmations to say for each of these intentions. So number 1, the 7 faces. Number 1, creativity. Be creative. My intention is for all of my activities to be directed by spirit. My intention is to love and radiate my love to my writing and any who might read these words. And that was the one that I read to you from up there that I put there. I don't know how long ago I put that there. And that's what my intention is with being creative. My intention is to trust in what comes through me and to be a vehicle of spirit, judging none of it. My intention is to recognize the spirit as my source and to detach from my ego. That has been one of the things that I've been really, really working on also. And it has been coming up in the relationships that I've been holding and the experiences that I've been having in some of the relationships, just showing me how close some people are to their ego and they think they're not. And and where my interaction with them needs to draw the line, because they are bringing my energy down into theirs, and that is not where I want to be. Want to be with the power of intention. I want to be with source, with God. I want to be love, and that is period. Okay, my intention is to do all I can to elevate the collective consciousness to be more closely in rapport with the spirit of the originating supreme power of intention. My intention is to recognize the spirit as my source and to detach from my ego. I read that one already. Number 2, again, is to be kind. And I highlighted some things in the be kind for you guys. Low energy thoughts that weaken us fall in the realm of shame, anger, hatred, judgment, and fear. Each of these inner thoughts weakens us and inhibits us from attracting into our lives what we desire. If we become what we think about, and what we think about is what's wrong with the world and how angry and ashamed and fearful we are, it stands to reason that we'll act on those unkind thoughts and become what we're thinking about. Whoa. If you need to, run that back and write that down, because it was heavy and it's loaded. If you're not ready for it, write it down. Guarantee you, things you hear that resonate with you and you write them down and you go back and review your notes and what you wrote in your journals and stuff, you'll be like, wow, now I understand that when I didn't before. Those are those nuggets, those jewels, those gems, that food, that mental currency that you need. Kindness toward yourself. Oh my goodness. We must be kind toward ourselves. Treating yourself kindly will hasten your ability to connect to intention. Say loving things to yourself. We must watch our inner dialogue. Now, um, kindness given is kindness returned. If you wish to connect to intention and become someone who achieves all of your objectives in life, you're going to need the assistance of a multitude of folks. Your positive relationships, that's one of the resilience flow, the pillars in your mental house that I have come up with from my program. By practicing extending kindness everywhere, you'll find support showing up in ways that you can never have predicted. This idea of extending kindness is particularly relevant in how you deal with people who are helpless, elderly, mentally challenged, poor, disabled, and so on. These people are all part of God's perfection. They too have a divine purpose, and since all of us are connected to each other through spirit, their purpose and intent is also connected to you. That right there just sealed everything for me when I read that, because I tend to, these people tend to always gravitate towards me. And not only, I don't think it's just because I have a special needs son, it's just because I exude that kind of kindness. And I've been told that too. And it's because I really practice living the 7 phases of intention every day. And just know that if it's not in alignment with what I feel and what I resonate with, I'll kindly back on away from it. Hello, hello. Let me see who that is. That's a Facebook. Who is that? Hold on. Let me pull up my Facebook. Oh, that's Miss Candy. Hello. Okay, so now kindness toward all of life. And that is everything. That means the grass. That means the trees. That means the everything, the little ants, like flies. That's another story. I see you, Miss Candy. I'm actually showing up the on StreamYard. So on StreamYard, I can't see it, and it goes slow on Facebook. There's a lag. Okay, so kindness toward all of life. That means everything. All living creatures are impacted dramatically by those who remain steadfast in the absence of thoughts and harm directed outward. Keep your thoughts good, okay, people? Like, that's all I gotta say. Like, keep your thoughts good. When I be scrolling and I see some stuff and it bothers my spirit, I scroll past you, and sometimes you might get snoozed, and it's only because in 2024 your mental currency should be it, and what you're giving out is what you're getting back in. Okay, so if you're giving out, let's talk about this person, let's gossip about this person, do that, that's what you're going to get back in. That's the energy you're bringing back into your intentions, into your life. And I don't want none of that. So I keep what it is, mind your business. I mind my business unless it becomes a part of my business. And it becomes a part of my business if I'm brought into the business. You know what I mean? So mind your business. That work on yourself, your mental currency for 2024, and watch the shift. Watch the shift of the people around you. Watch the shift of the world in general. The world is waking up, and I see that more, and it's helping me to share more, because I thought I was sitting in the back, like I didn't think people would be interested in knowing about your intentions and knowing that your words have energy. Your words have energy. That right there. Your words are spells. Be careful. Be on the lookout. Okay, so number 3, be love. Ponder these words thoughtfully. God is love, and he that dwelleth in love dwelleth in me, and I in him. That is God talking, so to speak, keeping in mind the central theme of this chapter. In fact, this entire book, that you must learn to be like the energy that you allowed you that allowed you to be in the first place. Then being in a state of love is absolutely necessary for you to reconnect to intention. You were intended out of love. You must be love in order to extend, to intend. And again, that is so true. That is so true. If you live in a place where you're judging, like seriously, people, if you're like, I see so many memes of just people just making fun of people. We need to come out of that realm and post more stuff, more positive stuff, post more things about people doing stuff, something good. What is a random act of kindness you've done, instead of posting a meme of Jada Pinkett, how she looked, that one picture, and people are calling her Avatar or something. Just those types of things, people, move away from it. Love is cooperation rather than competition. Okay. And that's in between my mirrors in my bathroom. Love is cooperation rather than competition. Just so people remember that it's not a competition. Life is not a competition, and there's a unlimited abundance for us all. Love is the force behind the will of God. God is love, like, period. Beauty is number 4. These are the 7 faces of intention. Number 4. As you awaken to your divine nature, you'll begin to appreciate beauty in everything you see, touch, and experience. Beauty and truth are synonymous, as you read earlier in John Keats' famous observation in Ode on a Grush, whatever that little, yeah. Beauty is truth, truth is beauty. This means, of course, that the creative spirit brings things into the world of boundaries to thrive and flourish and expand. Life, truth, beauty. These are all symbols for the same thing, an aspect of the God force. And when I tell you, if you get this book, get the physical book and read it often, because when you align yourself with the 7 faces of intention, you will see manifestation. You will see whatever you think in your mind will come to fruition. You will see it. It's trusting the process and doing the work, actually doing the work, actually keeping yourself in these positive states. And let me tell you, 2023, I was challenged about how to react. Well, how to respond instead of react to situations where I was taking out of my 7 phases of intention, out of my comfort zone, so to speak. All right, so we're still in the number 5 is be ever expansive. The all-emerging universal force that intended you into beingness and commences all of life is always growing and perpetually expanding. As with all of the 7 phases of intention, by reason of its universality, it must have a common nature with yours. By being in an ever-expanding state and growing intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually, you are identifying with the universal mind. People need to bring that back and really see that it's intellectually growing, emotionally and spiritually, not just spiritually, just going to church. And that is not fully growing you into, like, I have learned so much just by delving into different cultures, because it's all the same thing. It's really all the same thing. When we stop all this division and separation and just understand that it's all basically goodness, then there wouldn't be so much. But that's the way of the world. We'll catch it. It's a shift happening, though. It is definitely a shift from material currency to mental currency. And you either going to be on that evolution train, or you going to be back in thinking that these Louis Vuittons and these red bottoms and all of this other stuff is more important. Like, it's nice to have nice things, but are you investing in yourself or on yourself? In yourself, internally, to help your external, or are you just focusing on the external things that you can have that can make you fancy? And watch your intentions when you're using your gifts. Watch your intentions when you're using your gifts. I see that. Watch your intentions when you're using your gifts. That's all I'm going to say. All right, number 6, be abundant. If you think you can't manifest abundance into your life, you'll see intention agreeing with you and assisting you in the fulfillment of meager expectations. Basically, if you thinking you don't have abundance and you'll never get this and you'll never get that, you'll see more of that in your life and you'll never get that. Like, just whenever I feel like, oh my gosh, when am I going to be able to do this or do that? I just think to myself, money comes easily and frequently. Have unlimited abundance. We have unlimited abundance, and I don't worry about it. I don't worry about anything. I just let things happen. I trust the process, because if God got you, you got to know God got you. You have to know that. You have to know it and understand it. And when you worrying, then it's kind of like you're defeating that understanding, that intention of God got me. You're defeating that if you're worrying. So let's push ourselves every day to not and be on the 7 phases of intention. It's all about having an inner picture of abundance, thinking in an unlimited ways, being open to the guidance that intention provides when you're in a state of rapport with it, and then being in a state of ecstatic gratitude and awe for how this whole thing works. You must have gratitude. I wake up every day and I thank God, like every day, numerous times a day. I thank God, like gratitude for everything, gratitude for the shoes, gratitude for people in my life being in my life, gratitude for all the lessons that I've learned, like, because taking the good out of everything that's ever happened to you is the best thing you can do for your life. It will heal you. Like, out of the people you've lost, take the goodness out of that. Focus on those things rather than the grief of them not being there. Trust me, I have my days where I miss my mom, where I miss my cousin, like where I miss people who have gone, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you died of your breast cancer, but I'm still here. Do the things to keep yourself like just positive and grow from whatever lesson or whatever experience you've had. Number 7, my favorite one, is receptive. Be receptive. Being receptive means allowing your senior partner to handle your life for you. I accept the guidance and assistance of the same force that created me. I let go of my ego and I trust in this vision, this wisdom to move as its own peaceful pace. I make no demands on it. And it's senior, when he said senior partner, I was like, hold on, what is that? What is that fully embrace? He said, this is how you must think in order to reconnect to your source. You practice meditation because it allows you to receive the inner knowing of making conscious contact with God. By being peaceful, quiet, and receptive, you pattern yourself in the image of God and you regain the power of your source. So just being quiet and just being still and trusting the process. Basically, trust the process. What are these? I highlighted these. Oh, these are a few points that a teacher that he had. And this, he says, these points, which are a perfect summary of this chapter. You cannot know the meaning of your life until you are connected to the power that created you, until you are fully connected. Like, you know that you're connected. Hate to say it, but thinking you have to go through somebody else to get to God, to have your relationship with God, is not really being fully connected. I'm sorry to say it like that. You are not in this body. You are not this mind. You are the spirit. This is the greatest truth. Woo. You you have to know your spirit. For knowing your spirit, you cannot know the truth. The journey. Meditation is the only way you can grow. There is no other way out, because when you meditate, you are in silence, you are in thoughtless awareness. Then the growth of awareness takes place. If you have not figured out how to meditate, and you just, please reach out to me. Let me help you with these things. Like, I have been on this journey for years, like years. And meditation, it's not going to come like that. You have to start doing things to put yourself in an all the time meditative state. Like, literally, this book, like, when I mean you need to get in it. Connect to the power that created you. Know that you are the power. Commune with that power intimately and meditate to allow that growth of awareness to take place, because that awareness that you have is your foundation. It's the foundation to your mental health. The resilience flow, which are the resilience pillars, they are what holds your house up. So you got self-awareness, which is your foundation. Mindfulness, self-care, positive relationships, and purpose. All of those things hold up your mental health, and you have to work on all of them. You have to adapt where you need to, do the inner work where you need to, and allow that air cycle to keep your air fresh. Okay? Now, the 5 suggestions that they implement in this chapter, for number 1, to realize your desires, match them with your inner speech. Watch your inner speech. That was the first thing that I had to do when I first started on this journey of getting myself out of the depression rut that I was in after Mom passed. And I just felt like, what am I going to do? I got these children. I got this one with special needs. I don't know how to do this. I'm not going to. So I had to really get my mind right. And that was one of the first things I did, was my inner speech. Like, whenever I felt any kind of negative speech, inner speech coming, I would hug myself, and I still do it. And I tell myself, I love me. I love me. I love me. Or I even say, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you, because just to reinforce, and then come back with a positive thing instead of saying a negative thing. Push something positive. Your inner speech mirrors your imagination, and your imagination is your connecting link to spirit. If your inner speech is in conflict with your desires, your inner voice will win. So if you match your desires within your inner speech, those desires will ultimately be realized. So watch what you say to yourself. Number 2 was think from the end. That is, assume within yourself the feeling of a wish being fulfilled and keep this vision regardless of the obstacles that emerge. Eventually, you'll act on this end thinking, and the spirit of creation will collaborate with you. And like I said, Newborn taught me about thinking from the end first. I've also heard Dr. Les Brown say this also, but by seeing Newborn think from the end, by in each of his accidents that he got in, where he actually had to go to the hospital, get stitches and needles, and just not cry or nothing. He just went through that because he thought from the end. He knew that he would be okay. He knew, I explained to him, you got to get stitches, blah, blah, blah. You're going to have to get the needle. And he knew and was ready for it. And think from the end. He prime example. So that's really how I live my life now. I know things are going to be good. We just got to trust the process, and you have to be in the moment. Be in your day-to-day life. Be in it, not of it, not just go through it. Be in it. Number 3, to reach a state of impeccability, you need to practice unbending intent. This will match you up with the unbending intent of the all creative universal mind. For example, if I set out to write a book, I keep a solid picture of the completed book in my mind, and I refuse to let that intention disappear. There's nothing that can keep me from that intention being fulfilled. Some say that I have a great discipline, but I know otherwise. My unbending intention won't allow for anything but its completion to be expressed. Boy, when I tell you, when I read that, I was like, you are on the right track. And this is what you are supposed to be doing at this time and this moment, is sharing what I know about the power of intention. Because what he just wrote right there, that is how I feel about my book that I have. I don't know when my book is going to be done, because right now everything is just coming in and I see it from the end. I know what I want to be in that book. It's just getting all the words and the stories, because when I tell you, I can trace back through my whole entire life how I have been applying the AIR method, how I've been applying what I have developed in my whole entire life from a young child, from being like, literally, I may not be able to remember all of the moments in my life, but the ones that have shaped and really like adapting to things, doing the inner work to keep my soul, my spirit, full circle moments. The power of intention is wonderful. Number 4, copy the 7 faces of intention. He says on 3x5 cards, but I say copy them anywhere. Copy them and put them. Mine are right here. Mine are right there. Remember them. You don't just not even don't even you don't even remember what they actually mean. Just remember the words: creativity, kindness, lovable, beautiful, expansive, receptivity, abundance. Remember the 7 faces of intention. And I would say write them down and put them somewhere, because I'll if I'm sitting here and I'm doing something, I'll look at them. I always look at them and I know them. It will make a difference in your life, because he says they'll serve as reminders for you to stay in fellowship with the originating spirit, and that is the truth. Number 5, always keep the thought of God's abundance in mind. If any other thought comes, replace it with that of God's abundance. Remind yourself every day that the universe can't be miserable. It can't be. It can't be wanting. It holds nothing but abundance, or as St. Paul stated so perfectly, God is able to provide you with every blessing in abundance. Repeat these ideas on abundance until they radiate as your inner truth. I urge you to examine any and all self-imposed obstacles that need to be challenged and eradicated as you work anew at living and breathing this power of intention that was placed in your heart before heart was even formed. This book is so awesome. Like, this book is so awesome. Let me tell you, when I tell you that book is awesome, hold on. Oh, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. Hold on. Where is my... All right. So that was chapter 3. Okay, so each aspect of intention, creativity, kindness, love, beauty, expansion, abundance, and receptivity is not just a concept, but a lived experience. Creativity, for instance, is not only about the artistic pursuits, but also the creative thinking and problem solving and in nurturing relationships. Similarly, abundance isn't just material, it's an abundance of joy, opportunities, and love. Reflecting on these, can you recall times when you felt a deep sense of connection to one of these aspects, like I've shared with mine? Like abundance, I have just been seeing so much abundance come into my life just by putting myself back into the power of intention. Even though I'm always in the power of intention, reading this, revisiting this book and all of its concepts and stuff has just been like awesome for me. I'm not sure how it is for you guys, but I can't wait till we actually have our discussion where we can talk about it. If you get the time, listen to the audiobook, go back to the posts as I am doing, and actually read the post and interact with the post. I will be doing mine. So let's get on it. All right. So aligning with this energy, just practical ways to align with the universal intention. Aligning with this energy can be as simple as starting your day with a positive intention, or as profound as dedicated meditation practice. Even small acts like expressing gratitude or offering help can align us more closely with this universal field. Think about the small daily actions that might be bringing you closer to this powerful energy. What are they? Mine is, okay, I do pull my affirmation cards, and today's affirmation card was, I release the habit of reacting in the moment. And then the other one was, just because I have the capacity doesn't mean I need to be at capacity. And these are really about letting go. Let me tell you, Spirit will tell you what you need. All right, let's move into, what else do I have here? Hold on. All right, let's go into chapter 4. Chapter 4 was obstacles to connecting to intention. Now, this chapter took me a little bit longer because I was really thinking on it. And he gives 3 areas that may be unrecognizable to obstacles to your connection to the power of intention. So he gives us 3 areas or 3 obstacles: inner speech, your level of energy, and your self-importance. He kicks it off like in the beginning of the chapter. He says, your inner speech, your level of energy, and your level of importance. Those are what we're examining. These 3 categories can create almost insurmountable blocks to connecting to intention when they are mismatched. Remember that your ability to activate the power of intention in your life depends on your matching up with the creative source of all life. So pushing on to there, he says that, so we're going into your inner speech. Match or no match. And this is the game that he gives, and we'll go through that. It's like a little game that he has where you're matching up with that source. So you either, when you fail to match up and the power of the source, the power of intention eludes you. We can go all the way back to the Old Testament to find a reminder about our inner dialogue. For instance, as a man thinketh, so is he. Generally, we apply this idea of becoming what we think to our positive thoughts. That is, think positively and you'll produce positive results. Oh my gosh, I believe that so much. But thinking also creates stumbling blocks that produce negative results. Below are 4 ways of thinking that can prevent you from reaching for and connecting to the universal creative spirit of intention. Number 1, thinking about what's missing in your life. To match up with intention, you first have to catch yourself in that moment you're thinking what's missing, then shift to intention. Okay, so no match. I don't have enough money. Match. I intend to attract unlimited abundance into my life. No match. My partner is grouchy and boring. Match. I intend to focus my thoughts on what I love about my partner. Whoo, cha. Number 3, I'm not attractive as I'd like to be. Match. I'm perfect in the eyes of God, a divine manifestation of the process of creation. So you get it? No match. I don't have enough vitality or energy. Match. I'm a part of the ebb and flow of the limitless source of all life. So you get what I'm saying about match and no match. You have to match what you're saying with the power of intention to get it to go where you need it to be. So Dr. Dyer emphasizes the importance of actively connecting with the power of intention. So you have to tune in with that frequency, that higher frequency of energy. Visualization is another technique where we mentally picture our goals as already achieved, aligning our energy with the outcome we desire. Now, like I told you, my whole room, my whole office is visualization. This is where my best creativity comes. This is just like my safe space, my happy place. So number 2, thinking about the circumstances of your life. If you don't like some of the circumstances of your life, by all means, don't think about them. Like we can say it's simply that it's easier said than done, as I've heard. But that is not true. That is not true. The more you practice doing it, the more easier it is. You have to practice doing it. If you're not practice doing it, then you're going to always think in that mindset that it's easier said than done. In this match game, you want to match up with the spirit of creation. You must train your imagination, which is the universal mind running through you, to shift from what you don't want to what you do want. All of that mental energy you spend complaining about what is, to anyone who will listen, is a magnet for attracting more of that in your life. You and only you can overcome this impediment because you've put it on your path to intention. Simply change your inner speech to what you intend the new circumstances of your life to be. Practice thinking from the end by playing the match game, by realigning yourself with the field of intention. Okay, so here's some more examples of interlog relating to the circumstances. I hate this place we're living in. It gives me the creeps. Match. I can see our new home in my mind, and I intend to be living in it within 6 months. And this is what I did. I started looking from the end and stopped looking from where I was at. Like, I envision the house that we live in now is set up just the way I envisioned it to be. Pause. Okay. Have a good day. No match. When I see myself in the mirror, I despise the fact that I am nearsighted and I'm out of shape. Match. I'm placing this drawing of how I intend to look right here on my mirror. That is what I do. I have a picture. I don't even know who this person is, but I found the body shape, what I actually want to look like, and I took a picture of it. And now I even have pictures of myself that I want to go back to. Before I got cancer and everything, I was like 151 pounds, and I want to be back down out to that healthy weight because that's the healthy weight for me, but I still want to be toned and I still want to have that strength. So by replacing and matching now and putting that picture up, I can see a picture of what I want to see instead of complaining about what I don't want to see about myself. You must learn to assume responsibility for the circumstances of your life without any accompanying guilt. Woo. Accountability. The circumstances of your life aren't the way They are because of the karmic debt or because you're being punished. The circumstances of your life, including your health, are yours. Somehow they showed up in your life, so just assume that you participated in all of it. Your inner speech is uniquely your own creation, and it's responsible for attracting more of the circumstances that you don't want. Link up with intention. Use your inner speech to stay focused on what you intend to create, and you'll find yourself regaining the power of your source. And that is what I am actively doing now, because I want to gain more coaching clients. I want to help so much that this is what I wake up in the morning and think about. Like, I wake up in the morning and think about sharing my air method with whoever I can share with, especially mothers, parents of special needs children, those caregivers who are working with people who have those extra needs. Number 3, thinking about what will always be. When your inner speech focuses on the way things have been, you act upon your thoughts of what has always been, and the universal all creating force continues to deliver what has always been. Why? Because your imagination is a part of that which imagined you into existence. It's the force of creation, and you're using it to work against you with your inner speech. Woo, thinking about what has always been. That's a hard thing to push yourself out of, is thinking about what's always been. Like, I've always been this way. I've always done things this way. Well, now it's time to start doing things differently and push yourself more into that space of intention, and just watch how things flourish. Watch how like your life thrives. Like, adapting to thrive is a thing. Make a shift and catch yourself when you're focusing on what always has been, and move your inner speech to what you intend to manifest. I intend to manifest this book. This Air Method program is going to just help so many people, and I see that. And I've been told that it's just sharing it and getting the engagement. That's just one of my big things. You got to stay in that intention. All right, so he has some no matches and matches. Let me see. For thinking about what has always been. No match. I've always been poor. I was raised on shortages and scarcity. Stop saying that. Stop. The match. I intend to attract wealth and prosperity in unlimited abundance. And that's what I say. I'm always thinking in abundance for everyone, not just myself. No match. We've always fought in this relationship. Match. I'll work at being peaceful and not allowing anyone to bring me down. No match. My children have never shown me any respect. Match. I intend to teach my children to respect all of life, and I'll treat them in the same way. No match. I can't help feeling this way. It's my nature. I've always been this way. Match. I'm a divine creation, capable of thinking like my creator. I intend to substitute love and kindness for feelings of inadequacy. It's my choice. It is your choice. It's our choice. The match item reflects a rapport with the originating spirit. The no match statements represent interference that you've constructed to keep you from matching up with intention. Whoa, like, this book is so heavy. This book will set you right. Like, it'll set you right to where it'll have you thinking and really, really wanting to be in the 7 phases of intention. So the number 4 of the obstacles, thinking about what they want for you. If your thoughts are on what others expect of you, even though you despise their expectations, you'll continue to act on and attract more of what they want and expect for you. Whoa. I'm gonna let that fit right there, because I had a experience where this right here is coming into mind because of what this person was saying to me about what I'm investing in now. Wow. Removing that obstacle means that you decide to shift your inner speech to what you intend to create and attract to your life. You must do this with the unswerving intent and commitment to not giving mental energy to what others feel about you and how you live your life. And that is what I had to do. I just had to stop conversing with that person, because it was like, I'm not in that energy field where you are anymore. I'm not in that judgment that I'm above this and this. I'm not there anymore. We can learn from every single thing. We can learn from every person. And even though you think you know something, you can still learn more about that thing. Practice catching yourself when you have a thought of what others want for you, and ask yourself, does this expectation match up with my own? If not, simply laugh at the absurdity and of being upset and frustrated over the expectations of others and how you should be running your life. And I don't know, many times I've said on my planner, I always put, don't let your expectations destroy your progress. And that is one thing that I keep in my mind, is my expectations on other people. They're my expectations. Worry about the expectations I have on myself, because then I won't be disappointed. And that was one of the things that came up with me with my breast cancer, was disappointment. I was holding in a lot of disappointment, and those expectations were not even mine to be holding. So we got to watch that. Yes, we have to watch our expectations on other people, because it will bring disappointment and frustration to us. And it's not even us that we should. What are we expecting about ourselves? What do we intend for ourselves? Let them intend for themselves what they want for themselves. All right. So, all right, I'll give about one of those. Here are a few examples of how to win at the match game for thinking about what they want for you. No match. I'm so annoyed with my family. They just don't understand me, or they never have. Match. I love my family. They don't see things my way, but I don't expect them to. I'm totally focused on my own intentions, and I send them love. This plays so big for me, because this comes into play when you're dealing with boundaries and keeping your peace and knowing that you love a person, but you have to figure out how that person can either be in your life or not be in your life, but you can still be cordial. And that is where I am with certain relationships, because I'm not for all of for the negativity and for the complaining and if you don't have anything positive to say, or you're not or anything that's going to grow us, then move along. Move along. If it's not a conversation where we're talking about somebody, but it's still growing us, there's still a point, there's still like a lesson in it, then we need to, mental currency is the currency. All right, so now we are pushing on to the 5 levels of energy that we work with. These ones. Okay, so you got the 5 levels. Everything in the universe is a movement of energy. And this is what I was talking about, the higher and the lower and the faster and the slower energies. Higher, faster energy dissolves and converts lower, slower energy. With this in mind, I'd like you to consider yourself and all of your thoughts in the context of being an energy system. Like I said, words, thoughts, this is all energy. You're putting it out there, and it's working for your good or for your detriment. You're an energy system, not just a system of bones, fluids, cells, but actually a multitude of energy systems encapsulating an inner system of thoughts, feelings, and emotions. This energy system that you are can be measured and calibrated. Every thought you have can be energetically calibrated along with its impact on your body and your environment. The higher your energy, the more capable of you are of nullifying and converting lower energies, which weakens you and impacting in a positive way everyone in your immediate and even distant surroundings. And I've seen this happen from me coming into a room and people telling me how my energy spoke to them and they want to come talk to me, versus how it weakens me. How I if I'm around a lower person's energy, my energy drains more, I guess, because it and that is something he covers in the book. Let's get into it. The objective in this section is to become aware of your own energy level and the actual frequencies of thought that you regularly employ in daily life. You can become proficient at raising your energy level and permanently obliterate energetic expressions that weaken or inhibit your connection to intention. Ultimately, your goal is to have a perfect match with the highest frequency of all. And when I read this chapter over again, I was like, oh, I needed this. I really needed this. I needed this because and it's the 4th chapter. How about that? My number. But I needed this because I needed to push myself back into the intentions, the power of intentions. Okay, so the number one level we work with is the material world. Solid form is energy slowed down so that it's approximately commensurate with your sense perception of the world of boundaries. Everything that you see and touch is energy slowed down so that it appears to be coalesced mass. Your eyes, your fingers agree, and there you have the physical world. So the material world is anything that you can touch and you can see with your physical eyes. Okay? So you know how sometimes you can actually see the heat. So that's the material world. The sound world is number 2. These invisible waves are also high, low, fast, slow. This sound level of energy is where you connect to the highest frequencies of spirit through the practice. And that's through meditation or through just being in. Make sure what you listen to is good for you, all right? The light world, number 3. When light is brought to darkness, darkness becomes light. The implications for this are startling. Low energy, when faced with high energy, experiences an automatic conversion, okay? And that is true. I have seen somebody's mood pick up just by being kind or expressing love or showing up, you know what I mean? Staying with the thoughts that you attract people with. Number 4, the thought world. Your thoughts are extremely high frequency of pulsation that moves beyond the speed of sound and even light. The frequency of thoughts can be measured, and the impact they have on your body and your environment can be calculated. This is so true, because when I tell you I manifested my cancer, please trust and believe that I know that I manifested my cancer by the thoughts that I kept. It is possible. We must be aware of these things and believe in these things. It's expansive. Knowledge is expansive. And don't think just because it's in that you trust what resonates with you and trust your spirit and know that your words are powerful. They are that powerful. And I highlighted this book that he said read, David Hawkins, MD, Power versus Force. Every thought you can be calculated to determine if it's strengthening or weakening your ability to reconnect to the highest and fastest energy of the universe. So every thought you have, and we should know this already, it will determine where you are in your connection to God, universe, spirit, higher power, source, because they're all the same thing. Buddha, Jehovah, all of that's the same thing. It's all the same thing. Number 5, spirit world. They are the energies of creation. When you reproduce them in yourself, you reproduce the same creative quality of life that called you into existence. They are the qualities of creativity, kindness, love, beauty, expansion, peaceful abundance, and receptivity. These are the highest energies of the universal spirit itself. You came into existence from this energy, and you can match up with it energetically as you remove the lower energy pulsations from your thoughts and feelings. And through reading this book, through this month, I have noticed how my energy has shifted so much more now that I am refreshing myself. Because for me, this is a refresher. And reading some of the words, I see how they have ingested in me through the multiple times that I have read it. And I'm even reading it with newer eyes and getting stuff that I didn't even get before. Books are so wonderful. Okay, so now we push out of there into the raising your energy level. Okay. Every thought you have has an energy that will either strengthen or weaken you. It's obviously a good idea to eliminate the thoughts that weaken you, since these thoughts are obstacles to creating a winning match with the universal supreme source of intention. Take a moment to ponder the meaning behind Anthony DeMello's observation in 1 Minute Wisdom. And I wanted to read this to you. Why is everyone here so happy except me? Because they have learned to see goodness and beauty everywhere, said the master. Why don't I see the goodness and beauty everywhere? Because you cannot see outside of what you fail to see inside. Marinate on that. Because you can't see outside of what you fail to see inside. That's that inner work. Some people try to bypass that inner work, and some people half the inner work. It's a lot that comes with inner work, and you are never healed. You're never fully healed. Trust me, there's always something you can learn about the inner work. And there's so many lessons that we go over in the Air Method program. If you're interested in any of the coaching, please let me know, and we can get you a foundation focus chat going and see how I can help you. What you may fail to see inside is a result of how you choose to process everything and everyone in your world. You project onto the world what you see inside, and you fail to project into the world what you fail to see inside. Let me read that for you again. What you may fail to see inside is a result of how you choose to process everything and everyone in your world. You project onto the world what you see inside, and you fail to project into the world what you fail to see inside. My intention is to project into the world what I see inside of me. And that is to share every lesson that I have learned in my life, and hopefully it resonates with somebody. I'm here to catch whose my gifts resonate with, that I can help, how I can serve. I've been a servant to my nation, and he has been God's greatest blessing, like the lesson giver. When I tell you he is the lesson giver, the lesson bringer, he continues to bring lessons to me about life, and I will forever be grateful for his life in my life. Okay, so we are still talking about raising our energy level. There's a vibratory action to your thoughts, your feelings, and your body. I'm asking you to increase those frequencies so they're high enough to allow you to connect to the power of intention. This may sound like an oversimplification, but I hope you'll try raising your energy level as a way to remove the obstacles that prevent you from experiencing the perfection you're a part of. You cannot remedy anything by condemning it. You only add to the destructive energy that's already permeating the atmosphere of your life. And that is true. If you feel that the lower energies of those around you are bringing you down, it's because you're joining them at their energy levels. Whoa. And until I get my energy level where I can be around people with those low energies, this is what I learned last year. Then I remove myself from those energies until I learn how to keep my energy from going down in their low energy. And last year was a big test for me, and I believe I've improved on that, but I'm still working on keeping my energy from going down when I'm around somebody who has low just energy. The lesson is clear in terms of removing lower energy obstacles. We must raise ourselves to the levels of energy where we are the light we seek, where we are the happiness we desire, where we are the love we feel is missing, where we are the unlimited abundance we crave. By being it, we attract it to us. By condemning its absence, we ensure that condemnation and discord will continue to flow into our lives. If you're experiencing scarcity, anguish, depression, an absence of love, or an inability to attract what you desire, seriously look at how you've been attracting these circumstances into your life. Low energy is an attractor pattern. It shows up because you've sent for it, even if on a subconscious level. It's still yours and you own it. However, if you practice deliberately raising your energy level by being cognizant of your immediate environment, you'll move farther rapidly toward intention and remove all of those self-imposed blocks. The obstacles are in the low energy spectrum. So that's where we hold them obstacles. And here's the suggestions for moving your energy field to a faster, higher vibration. And these are to remove those barriers. Number one, the first one, because there's a couple of them. Be conscious of your thoughts. Really pay attention to the thoughts that hold space in your mental house. That's the thoughts about anything. Really, really start to pay attention to those. Make meditation a regular practice in your life. And try 3 minutes at first, a minute at first. And I would suggest for someone who is not used to meditating or has a problem with keeping the thoughts from entering your mind while you're trying to meditate is to get a guided meditation. I love Deepak Chopra. And you may have to buy you some CDs, but I use his meditation, and in his meditations, he gives you a Sanskrit, which is just a mantra word to focus on, and he tells you what that word means. And whenever I'm meditating and my thoughts wander, I say that Sanskrit to myself, and that mantra, and it brings me back into the meditation, the actual and meditation is so good for you. Like, please try it. If you need help with that, let me know. Become conscious of the food you eat. This go around in my life, in my air cycle, my inner is really, really talking to me about being conscious of the foods I eat now that I've had to have my appendix removed and my gallbladder removed. I'm noticing certain things I really should not be putting in my stomach. And that's a hard thing when you're used to emotional eating. But it helps straighten you out. Retreat from low energy substances. And low energy substances, he's saying, can be alcohol, drugs, anything that lowers your energy and weakens you. Become conscious of the energy level of the music you listen to. And that is what I was talking to my son about. And you guys have heard me mention this, is be conscious of the energy level of the music. Like some of the music that we listen to, or I'm not listening to it, but sometimes I'll hear something and automatically I'll shut it off because it's like, okay, that then gave me a headache, and it's either dropped my energy level. And the beat may be good, but if you are still playing that in the background and you actually take a time to listen to the words, you'll end up turning it off too, because you want to stay conscious of the energy level. Because some of the lyrics have hate, pain, anguish, fear, and violence in them, and you may not even be listening to the actual words, but that's still subconsciously going into your brain. Become aware of the energy levels of your home environment. That means prayers, paintings, crystals, statues, spiritual passages, books, magazines, the colors on the walls, and even the arrangement of your furniture, all creative energy into which you are catapulted for at least half of your waking life. That's why my office is decorated the way it is. In the living room, it's orange. That's bright, fun. Not fun, but it's a vibrant color. You want to make sure that feng shui, have you ever heard of feng shui? That's the Chinese art of feng shui, of making your environment what you have and your environment peaceful. Reduce your exposure to the very low energy of commercial and cable television. I'm still working on that. I still watch my shows. That was my pop-up, in case you heard him. He's telling me it's time to eat. I tell you, he's a man of mans, my top pop. But reduce your exposure, we're almost done, to the very low energy of commercial and cable television. Now, I'm very particular about what I put on. Very, very particular about what I put on. If it comes down my Instagram feed, some ratchetness, I might stop and watch the craziness just because I need a laugh for the day. Because it's still good to laugh, but you don't want that to be in your brain all the time. So I really don't watch a lot of the reality TV shows unless it's like Big Brother or Survivor or all of the game shows, like those types of reality TVs. But the other ones, if it comes down my Facebook feed, I'll giggle at it or some. But some of that stuff, they are designed to keep us at a low frequency, and we must realize those things, because you may think it's haha kiki and all of that, but if you're faithfully every day that's what you're putting into your that's what you're seeping into your brain. Oops. All right, let's see. All right, where are we at here? We talked about those. We talked about the barriers. That's what we're talking about now. We have to connect with money. All right, so choose to be in. This is the one that was we on this one? No, we're on this one. Sorry. Okay, enhance your energy field with photographs. Yes, enhance your energy field with photographs. And as you can see, I have photos. You really can't see them, but I have photos everywhere. Like I have photos right there. I got photos back there. If you can see over here, I have photos in front of me, and they enhance your energy field with photos. Good photos, okay? Because photos have energy too, y'all. Let me tell you. Let me tell you this is some vulnerability right here, okay? I'm giving y'all some real life stuff, okay? Photos have energy. We had this family portrait up in the living room, and this picture that we took, it was in the early, when we lived in, this had to be in between 1909, it had to be between like 2000 and 2003, or like around that time. And this was when I was young. And well, it wasn't young, but to me, had 4 kids and one with a disability. So this was around that time that things were, being in a grown-up relationship, being that young, having all those kids and dealing with all those adult issues, and still trying to take care of myself and grow myself. Because if you think that this is like 2002 or something, I was like 23 years old with already 4 kids. And the picture that we had on the wall, it's a family portrait. We had just had an argument. And you got to smile for a picture. And the energy from that picture rubbed me the wrong way. And I took it off the wall. So Just be careful with the energy and what pictures you choose to put around you, because you don't want to have a picture that gives you a certain energy. And that picture, I took them off the wall because I was like, no, we was arguing those days. We need that. I don't want that on the wall because that's the energy that has been in the house. That energy is starting to dissipate. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Pictures, all of these things that we have in our visuals and that we can touch, taste, see, hear, it matters to our intentions and what we bring into our life. It really does. Become conscious of the energy levels of the acquaintances, friends, and extended family. And I was just talking about that. Choose to be in close proximity to people who are empowering, who appeal to your sense of connection to intention, who see the greatness in you, who feel connected to God, and who live a life that gives evidence that spirit has found celebration through them. And that is where I am at right now. I have to be near people who want growth, who are empowering, who just seek personal growth, because I can't be stagnant anymore. And staying in a level with people who are just committed to being the same and not changing, their change is inevitable. It is. If you want to evolve and grow, you have to start changing your mental. You do. Like, you really do. No, you're not too old. You are never too old, Miss Candy. You are never too old. Please get that out of your intention. Get that out of your vote, out of that you're too old. You are never too old to learn anything. We have Pop Pop. My daddy, Mr. Sam Miller is the biggest example of you are never too old. He has been doing things here and speak that he thought he was too old to ever really get out of that old habit. Like, he's been talking so much to me about his life, and he was always telling me he doesn't want to revisit none of that stuff or anything, but he's giving me the lessons that he's learned. So he's coming out of his comfort zone. Even with having his new iPhone, he thought he was too old to have that iPhone and to do those kinds of things. So, oh, it's too bad too old for stuff, bad intentions. Okay, I was about to say I don't want to hear that, too old for bad intentions. You're right. Bad intentions, man. I see people with bad intentions, and now I was trying to talk them out of their bad intentions and being like, well, no, maybe this person, this and this. Now I don't even want to have conversation with people like that. Monitor your activities and where they take place. Every activity has an energy field. Choose to be in places where the energy fields reflect the 7 faces of intention. And that is another, like, I am just revisiting this book, and it's just helping me structure the intentions for my 2024. And it is being the activities that I am being in, because I want activities where there are engagement. If I'm in an activity and I feel like I'm being where people are paying attention but not paying attention, because you can pay attention and not pay attention. You can hear and not hear. Then I remove myself. If it's not about growth, if it's not about just being around each other and learning what new thing did you have, not gossiping, not any of those low energies, then I'm not for that, and I will remove myself. So remember, every activity has an energy field. Choose to be in places where the energy fields reflect the 7 faces of intention. Okay? Extend acts of kindness, asking for nothing in return. And some people, baby, do not understand that. And I'm working on being one of those people who reciprocation is big to me. Reciprocation is big to me, but extending acts of kindness, I do that. We can do that by commenting on a post. That's an act of kindness. Holding the door for somebody. Like, acts of kindness are wonderful, and it will come back to you tenfold. And when I mean tenfold, tenfold. Really. Be specific when you affirm your intentions to raise your energy level and create desires. And he says, place affirmations. And I'm sitting here reading this book and just giggling to myself because how I have put this book into action and how seeing when I do actually keep myself in the power of intention, how my life goes. I just giggle with gratitude. Place affirmations in strategic places where you'll notice and read them throughout the day. And that is what I have done. Change your thoughts, change your life. Period. Change your thoughts, change your life. As frequently as possible, hold thoughts of forgiveness in your mind. Oh my goodness, that's going to be one of the talks that I have. One of the workshops that I have coming up is on forgiveness, and with Miss Ella Inspires, who you seen, if you saw down, she was our first person to introduce herself to the group with a beautiful picture. That's Miss Ella Inspires, and she hosts a workshop on forgiveness, and I will be inviting her to come and share how powerful forgiveness is. And that's where I'm at right now too, is holding thoughts of forgiveness in my mind, moving from the frustration, this disappointment, and moving into forgiveness. And most of all, forgiving myself for allowing myself to be put in that kind of situation too. All right, so now the last one we have is your self-importance. Okay, so remember, there were 3 of them. There were 3 obstacles. There was inner speech, your energy level, and your self-importance. And reading this self-importance, whoa. I even wrote this down. Self-importance is man's greatest enemy. What weakens him is feeling offended by the deeds and misdeeds of his fellow man. Self-importance requires that one spend most of one's life offended by something or someone. That's where I aim. That's where I do not put myself ever, is self-importance. I With self as a focal point, you sustain the illusion that you are your body, which is completely separate entity from all others. This sense of separateness leads you to compete rather than cooperate with everyone else. Ultimately, it's a no match with spirit and becomes a huge obstacle to your connection to the power of intention. In order to relinquish your self importance, you'll have to become aware of how entrenched it is in your life. Ego is simply an idea of who you are that you carry around with you. As such, it can't be surgically removed by having an egoectomy. This idea of who you think you are will persistently erode any possibility you have of connecting to intention. Wow. Like self-importance. I didn't know that that was part of ego. So I'm going to have a whole workshop on this also. Like, if you want to get in on this coaching, if you want to know what I have available for coaching, please let me know, because self-importance, baby, is definitely ego. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Please remind yourself of that. Now let's get into finalizing this thing out. 7 steps. Well, yes, he did give 7 steps for overcoming your ego. Holding you back is what it's doing. Okay? So, number 1, stop being offended. Stop taking things personally. Read what book is that? The 4 intentions, the 4 agreements. And one of those is don't take things personally. Don't take things personally. Don't make assumptions. Always do your best. Be impeccable with your word. Number one, stop being offended. Being offended creates the same destructive energy that offended you in the first place and leads to attack, counterattack, and war. And we are seeing this so much with all this racism talk and all what's going over in Palestine. And I really saw that come to life when one of my friends, I guess she's Jewish, she got offended for no reason because I saw somebody who had a free Palestine sign when I was in Virginia, Arlington, and I took a picture of her and I posted it and just said that we all need to love each other, and just bad is bad and wrong is wrong. And she just posted this whole long thing, well, you don't love Jews or something. She got offended when she didn't need to get offended, and she took herself out of her power of intention. Number two, let go of your need to win. You're not your winnings or your victories. You may enjoy competing and have fun in a world where winning is everything, but you don't have to be there in your thoughts. Let go of needing to win by not agreeing that the opposite of winning is losing. That's ego's fear. Be the observer, noticing and enjoying it all without needing to win a trophy. Be at peace and match up with the energy of intention. And ironically, although you'll hardly notice it, more of those victories will show up in your life as you pursue them less. And that's true. You'll get more of what you want when you stop focusing on, oh my gosh, you got to match up. Number three, let go of your need to be right. That's hard. Ego is the source of a lot of conflict and dissension because it pushes you in the direction of making other people wrong. When you're hostile, you've disconnected from the power of intention. The creative spirit is kind, loving, and receptive, and free of anger, resentment, or bitterness. When you let go of the need to be right, you're able to strengthen your connection to the power of intention. And it's so hard. It's so hard to let it go when you know you're right. But some things just aren't even worth going through because you know that person still is going to be in their train of thought and not even, they might need to hear that from somebody else for it to be true. Number four, let go of your need to be superior. True nobility isn't about being better than someone else. It's about being better than you used to be. Stay focused on your growth with a constant awareness that no one on this planet is any better than anyone else. We all emanate from the same creative life force. We all have a mission to realize our intended essence. All that we need to fulfill our destiny is available to us. And that, stay focused on your growth. Be better than you used to be. And from where I was in 2008 to where I am now, wow. It's just awesome that I have to share. I have to use my gift and share everything that I've learned to help those who have, and we don't even have to be in the same life path or have the same challenges to learn from the AIR method. You don't, and be in the AIR method program. You don't have to be a caregiver. You don't have to be a breast cancer survivor. This program applies to anyone and everyone. And it is continual because air cycles are continuals. We continuously breathe. Number 7, let go of your reputation. Do what you do because your inner voice always connected to the great and grateful to your source, so directs you to. Stay on purpose, detach from outcome, and take responsibility for what does reside in you. What does reside in you? Take responsibility for it. Your character. Leave your reputation for others to debate. It has nothing to do with you. Or as the book title says, what you think of me is none of my business. And that was my card yesterday. Mind your business. It's none of my business what you think of me. It's only views what I think of myself. Now let's get into the ending. The 5 suggestions for implementing the ideas in this chapter. Plain and simple. Number one, monitor your inner dialogue. The more cognizant you become of your inner speech, the sooner you'll be able to shift right in the midst of those habitual inner proceedings from a thought of I resent what's missing to I intend to attract what I want and stop thinking about what I dislike. That new inner dialogue becomes the link connecting you to intention. So that happens for me. As soon as I start thinking negative, I push a positive thought right back in there because I know that if I don't, I will stay in that low vibration, and that is not where I want to be. And if I was to stay there, I don't think I would have got over half of the things that have happened in my life if I stayed in that realm and had not found this book to know that change your thoughts, change your life. Number two, lighten moments of doubt and depression. Remain faithful to the light is good advice. Reject it. Stay, remember the sun is shining behind the clouds. Be faithful to the light that's always there. Number three, be aware of low energy. Recall that everything, which includes your thoughts, has an energy frequency that can be calibrated to determine whether it will strengthen or weaken you. When you find yourself either thinking in a low energy ways or immersed in low weakening energy, resolve to bring a higher vibration to the presence of that deliberating situation. And usually I do that by playing something that I need to hear, or picking up a book and reading, or I'll pick up my journal and get that low energy out of my mind and put it on a paper. Or if I'm in an environment and that happens, I will pull up a picture or something that helps me keep myself, that know that I am in a low energy and I need to bring my frequency back up. Number four, talk to your ego and let it know that it has no control over you. Period. Period. You know, when people say, oh, I'll be talking to myself. I talk to myself all the time. I talk to myself in the store when I'm going by stuff I know I don't need to pick up and I want to pick it up. And that low energy be like, get that candy. And I'll be like, no, we cannot do no sugar because that sugar be messing with your knees. People, sugar, if you're having problems with your knees and you eating sugar, stop eating sugar and see how them knees do. You may not have mega knees, but you may have U knees. Okay, you may not get them mega knees, but you might get them U knees. And the fifth suggestion for implementing the ideas in this chapter is view obstacles as opportunities to circulate the power of your unbending intent. I intend to stay connected to my source and thereby gain the power of my source. This means by being at peace, detaching yourself from the circumstances and seeing yourself as the observer rather than the victim, then turning it all over to your source and knowing that you'll receive the guidance and assistance you require. Keep the faith. Have that faith of that mustard seed. Have faith and know that God got you. Know it. Know it in your spirit that God got you, and you will view obstacles as opportunities where you can grow and you can learn. You learn how resilient you are. You learn how you can move through things you thought you couldn't do. You just learn your strength and all of the values that you possess. There we have it. That is the end of chapter 4. Let me check my notes and see if I have anything else I wanted to chat with you guys about. All right, we talked about the techniques for strengthening. Positive affirmations. Okay, no, we're done. Thank you for joining the discussion, Miss Candy. I appreciate you. Whether you shared or listened, or you're replaying this, your presence is valuable, and I appreciate you. Remember, the journey with intention is deeply personal and unique to us all. It's very, very personal. So take it when you're ready. These videos will be up on my YouTube page, Today's Vibe, for if you want to go back and see them. They'll be up in the group. I would love to see the engagement, and I encourage you to keep exploring these concepts in your daily life. Let's continue to support each other through this journey of growth and discovery. If you have time, go back, as I will be doing, and filling in all of those. Like each day I posted something. Monday through Friday, I posted something each week that has to do with the power of intention in the chapter that we are on. In that thread, go back in, and if I asked you to a question, or I asked you to reflect on something and share, come back in and share. I will be doing that also. So let's get this going. Let's keep it going. And I appreciate you so much, Miss Candy, for always coming in and supporting. Oh, I'm sorry for the death in your family, the loss. My condolences. Those are always hard, and it's like, what do you say when they happen? But know that hopefully, to just know that that person is where they needed to be. And I don't think anything happens on by accident or coincidence. Because God got a master plan. He got a master plan. And I'm praying for your family and for you. And thank you for getting all caught up. I so appreciate you, Miss Candy, because it seems like that the older generation is just picking up on things, and knowing that there's a shift. And I know y'all feel this shift also. And I'm just so thankful for whoever comes and interacts, because I just want to share my gifts and what I learned and know about energy. Like, these are things that I know. These are things that's my expertise. These are things that I've actually put to test myself. So I know the power of words, and the power of a good book, and the power of intention, period. So next week, this week, this week is chapters 5 and 6. Okay. Chapters 5 and 6, reminder that the audiobook is linked to the top of the page in the features. And if you go down to the comments, you will see that there is like a table of contents where they tell you what time starts chapter 5 and chapter 6. So that's what we're working on this week. Okay. All the posts have to do with chapters 5 and 6. If you can, like I am going to be doing, get through and comment on the previous week's post. I appreciate you all. Let me know how you liking this book. Okay. Please, please, please. The interaction will let me know how to form my course, because I am coming out with a whole course that is specifically on part of the power of intention, because it does this book is part of your self-awareness. It's part of our foundation. Well, it's become for me, and I want to share it with you guys. And I'll have a whole course. Like, when I mean course, I mean it's going to be modules. It's going to be a lot. But thank you so much. And yes, have a good Monday. Let me get out of here. I've been on for 2 hours, but each chapter was an hour. So that's probably how chapter 5 and 6 will be on Saturday when I do the recap of chapter 5 or 6. We'll spend a chapter on each, or however it goes, but that'll probably be at 7 p.m. I was going to start at 8, but I think I want to start at 7 in case I need to get my workout done, and I can be done. Hold on. Wait a minute. Yes, Saturday. All right. Thank you so much, Miss Candy, ma'am. Have a great day, and I will see you guys in the group.